Greetings, people of Earth. Welcome back. My name is Jax, and today we're talking about listening. I think in our day and age, in our world, attention spans have gotten shorter, and that's no crack at the younger generation. That's no word against people in general, but there's this stereotypical joke about women just wanting a man who can listen and not being able to find it, sort of men being dismissive or people in general being dismissive. And this video isn't targeted towards like men or women in any specific way, but it's just one of these anecdotes to highlight the idea of listening and what makes a good friend. I have this opinion that 60% of a good friendship can be listening, just being an active listener, being able to remember what your friends have told you or what they've said, and be able to continue the conversation thusly. Boy, oh boy, the number of times that I have solved an issue just by listening and just by remembering what I've heard and being compassionate and understanding about what I've heard and what I've listened to, it's incredible. Most people really aren't looking for some superhero friend that is going to come and save them every single weekend, or, most people are not looking for a friend that is going to light up their whole world every time they're in the same room. If you have a friend like that, that's awesome. Hold on to them. I'm happy for you. But I think what most people are looking for is someone to understand each other and feel good and safe and happy with. It doesn't have to be an extreme amount of any of those things, but I think the basis of any good friendship, any good relationship, is listening. I've had family members in the past and friends in the past who were horrible listeners, and I'm not in contact with any of them anymore. The ones that don't listen, the ones that are unable to listen, those are the ones I'm not in contact with anymore. It's very, very difficult to have a relationship with somebody when the idea of you telling them something and then them remembering that, you can't do that. You know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say? I'm gonna share something that's not crazy personal. I'm going to try and do my best to remove it from the situation because it happened a long time ago. But I had this girlfriend and we were pretty close, and anyway, we were pretty close, kind of had each other's backs, but she kind of fell into this pattern of not listening, and the conversations were kind of constantly just me listening, and as you know, I value that, so I was trying to be a good friend and keep track of everything she was telling me, just quietly listen, give some support, try and give some feedback. But this person is the type of person that, for one, does not care about your feedback, like doesn't want to hear it. They know everything that they want to do. Like, she knew everything she was going to do, and there wasn't anything that I could say that would actually contribute to how she was doing, how she was going to go through certain situations. There was nothing that I could say that was actually going to register or impact her or make her think or make her not think in some situations. And it really got to the point over the course of probably 4 or 5 months where she knew absolutely nothing that was going on in my life. Like, absolutely nothing. She didn't know about how my family was doing. She didn't know about how I was doing. I had just changed jobs. She had no idea about that. Like, she was completely and utterly clueless about my world because she was unable to listen. She wasn't interested. She wasn't in a part of her life where she was open to that. Anytime I talked about myself, the conversation would change, and she would just be like, "Oh, well, I have to get going now." That is not a friendship. Like, let me really stress, that is not a friendship. That is not a relationship. I've been in situations with past partners and things like that where I just really felt like I wasn't being listened to. And I'm not asking to hog the conversation. In fact, when I'm with someone one-on-one, doesn't matter if it's my grandfather or my little nephew, I am just interested in learning and listening and hearing what they have to say and asking questions about their perspective on life. We have this incredible opportunity to learn from other people and to see perspectives that we might not have access to otherwise. And if you spend the whole time just talking about yourself or talking about negative things, that can be really hard. It can be really hard for someone who is very happy to just listen. You need to make the room for other people, and you need to accept that you are not the center of the universe. Like, none of us are. The ability to just be there for somebody and engage with them and ask them interesting questions, ask them pointed questions, just be there to listen and see what happens. That is so crucial in any relationship. And being unwilling to listen and learn and be curious and be genuinely interested. Like, I'm not saying that you can just blindly listen and take notes. Like, you have to be an active listener. You have to actively listen to what people have to say, what they are trying to tell you, their thoughts and relationships and connections. Like, you can't just blindly listen and say, okay, I know the facts, that's it. Like, you have to have some kind of skin in the game. And if the other person isn't going to listen to you, it's going to be hard to have that skin in the game. It'll be really hard. With this past relationship from years ago, the moment that I knew that I was kind of over it is that I no longer cared what they had to say, because they didn't care about anything I said. They could not care less. And I realized we don't actually have a relationship. I'm just a talking punch bag, essentially. And once you don't have that connection with somebody, you're not friends, you're not dating, you're not, as far as I'm concerned, you're not even family. I think taking the time to be genuinely curious and interested in someone's life is the perfect indicator that you are close, that you care, that there is some innate love in the situation. And because that's what listening is. It's saying to someone, I care about you to a point that I want to know everything. I want to be there when you're crying. I want to be there when you're succeeding in conquering the world and doing the best thing ever. I want to be there for all of it. And even if I'm just a little talking head or, a little coffee date, whatever it might be, I'm here, I'm interested, and I love this person. So I guess I'm really not saying anything too incredible, but it's really important. It's been on my mind. Listen to the people in your life, and find the people who listen to you. I think that's such a great strategy for anything, whether you're on a first date, whether you're talking with a grandparent who might not be here forever, being able to just listen to what they have to say and be like, wow, what an interesting perspective. Ask questions. You might not get to ask these questions forever. And that really hit me when I lost two of my grandparents. Like, I can't ask them for advice or anything. I don't get to ask them how their day is anymore. And that's not fun. It's not a fun feeling. So be there to listen, enjoy it in the moment. Don't be afraid to ask questions while you're listening, and to ask questions that might help them or might help you understand them better. That's really what I think is beautiful about human relationships and how we can listen and learn. So thank you for today's episode. I hope you're having a beautiful time, whatever you're having, day, month, year, century, millennium, whatever you're having. I hope it's amazing. And thank you so much for listening. I feel like sometimes I talk a lot, nature of YouTube, but you guys are here to listen. And so if you're still here listening to my rant, listening to my words of we're not going to call them wisdom, we're going to call them derangement. Might be a strong word, but we'll see. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. It means the world to me. And I look forward to listening from you. Have a beautiful day, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.